Tonight, the Panthers face the Hopkinton Hillers of for the Tri-Valley League Championship. My name is Tom Emmons, and alongside is the color man, who is always on top of the TVL, the legend, Jay Wyman. Jay, it's Holliston versus Hopkinton tonight for the TVL crown in the battle for H-Town. Does it get any better than this?
This is really cool. This is it's big. Now, this has happened a couple other times, too, where we've gone up against an undefeated Hopkinton team, and Holliston's come out pretty well in the end of that. This is a very talented Hopkinton team, very good defensive, do a good job defensively. They have a real nice passing combo of Kelleher to Abbott. You'll see a lot of tonight probably, and hopefully Holliston will be able to shut that down. But I also think you're seeing Holliston come off a loss. We don't see that a lot, Tom, and we don't see them come off a loss into a really big game like this. So let's see how they react to this. It could be something where Holliston's been waiting for 2 weeks now to get down to it, and let's hope that maybe they can take it a step higher than they did against Medfield and win this thing.
Panther captains are out for the coin toss. Number 72, Scott Elliott. Number 53, Alex Kelly. Number 4, Ryan Benko. Number 54, Will Solaria. And number 34, Ben Thomas. Panthers come into this game with a record of 3-2, 2-1 in the TVL Large, averaging 25 points a game. Their head coach, Todd Kiley, in his 15th season with the Panthers, 127 wins against 39 losses. He is 11-3 against Hopkinton in his career. The Hillers are 6-0, 29 points a game. Their head coach, Jim Gerard, in his 8th season with the Hillers, his record is 63-42. He is 0-8 against the Panthers. So you know that the Hillers would like to turn this around. Ken Dunn talking about the different streaks that have happened over the 120-year history. And Hopkinton looking to break a streak and Holliston looking to keep one going.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because Holliston's kind of always been at the top, and they've always come into this Hopkinton game just needing a win to position themselves in the division. And that's kind of where Hopkinton is right now.
This is the 66th meeting between these two teams. Jay, Holliston leads the series 37 wins, 27 losses, and 1 tie.
And Hopkinton will be kicking off. Holliston will be receiving and take the offense right at the beginning of the game.
And now H-Cats onboard statistician Carlos Canto with Los's pregame lowdown.
Thanks a lot, Tom. You know, last year these two teams battled it out to a very thrilling 51-32 victory by the Panthers over the Hillers. Those two teams combined for over 900 yards of offense, 903 yards to be exact. Leading the way for the Panthers, Spencer Aronson and Sam Athey combining for over 369 yards of rushing offense. They each had 2 touchdowns apiece. Sam Athey also caught a receiving touchdown in this game last year. So we'll see who steps it up for the Panthers tonight in this huge conference game.
Big offenses last year. Well, we're going to be interested to see what the defenses can do with these offenses. The Greek checked in this week. He loves his Panthers, but he sees them as 14-point undercats tonight against the Hillers, and you can't argue with the great record that the Hillers have. Here's the opening kickoff. Bounces at the 15-yard line, taken by Mike Nash. He's across the 30 to the 31, where the Panthers will set up shop for their first offensive drive of the night.
Yeah, and the thing about Hopkinton is, of course, they got the really good offense that we talked about, the passing game. Not so strong in the rushing game, but they're pointing everything to their defense, Tom. You know, they're looking at the defense. They have a really good defensive team, and it's going to be a challenge for Holliston. Now, the thing is, if Holliston can take that challenge, and if they can beat this defensive team with their offense, then Hopkinton might be in a little trouble. So see how that works out.
Panthers send out their war set here for the first series. And we got a false start. That'll back the Panthers up. 1st and 15. Holliston offense this year is averaging 282 yards a game, 187 on the ground, 95 through the air. The Hopkinton defense is allowing just 255 yards a game, 160 on the ground and 95 through the air. So pretty evenly matched, even though Hopkinton's only given up 7 points a game.
Well, they have, but in fairness, Holliston has played a much stronger schedule, so that balances out a little bit.
First and 10. It's just a giant pile pushing forward.
You know, Tom, this is the first
Panthers
time.
get the penalty back.
I'm sorry, this is the first time in a few games where Holliston's playing a team that doesn't have really an exceptionally large line. You know, they're good, they're quick and everything, but the Holliston line is playing a team that's a little bit smaller in size than they've had to play with the Lincoln Sudburys, the Millises, the Medfields.
So gain of 4, 2nd and 11. Number 11, Henry Naughton under center for the Panthers. And Holliston has to take a timeout. They had a personnel mix-up.
Yeah, this will be a 20-second timeout.
Well, this is a big game for both teams. Nobody wants to make a mistake, Jay.
Well, you know, like I said, the Holliston's coming off of 2 weeks of preparation, but they've also 2 weeks. The kids have been just waiting to get back at it. When you get beat the way they got beat against Medfield, you know, in a game that was very, very close until the end when the final touchdown was scored there. You know, it builds up. It builds up in you. You know, you want to get back at it. And it's almost kind of like getting back into the beginning of the season where you just want to get back at everything.
Here they give the pitch to Armstrong, number 5, off the right side. He crosses the 30 to the 34, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7.
And Holliston's going to go to the spread offense now. Now that War offense, Tom, they've gone to it a lot, you know, and when they've had a little problems moving the ball with the spread, they've gone to the War, and they've been very, very successful with the War offense this year.
Up front for the Panthers, number 54, Soloria, number 53, Kelly, number 57, Will Crowley, number 50, Sam Lynch, and number 72, Scott Elliott. Number 4, Ryan Benko in at quarterback. Low snap. Benko's going to have to take it himself. Off the left side, he's across the 40 and picks up a Panther first down.
When you come into a home field like this where the home field crowd is expecting a big win, what you want to do is take them out of the ball game. You start getting first downs like that, and that'll happen.
Now the Panthers bring in number 55, John Cannell, number 44, Connor Mulvaney for some extra blocking. Number 32, Dylan Ibbotson at the fullback spot. And 27 is Tristan Benson. So they go to Armstrong again, right side. Short gain to the 45-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 8.
Now that line's getting a good push, but Hopkinton's doing a nice job with their linebackers of coming in and closing up the gaps. Holliston just needs one little gap though with their running attack to open the thing up and take off all the way down the field.
Well, as Lowe said, the Panthers showed the War offense last year early and often for 398 yards on the ground. This time, Norton takes it himself going forward. And a big push up the middle, right between the guards. The Panthers pick up 5 yards. Bring up a 3rd down and 4.
Let's see, Holliston's going to, looks like they're going to, oh, this is interesting. I don't see Benko in there.
And they've taken Naughton out of the game.
Yeah.
Set up in a Wildcat offense. And that's Mike Nash. He made the yardage close to a first down, but there's a flag in the middle there.
Now this will be interesting because he really didn't get the first down here. So I wonder if the coach will take this penalty. It matters what it is. If it's, I believe it must be against Holliston, right? Looks it. So depending what the penalty is, if it's 10 yards, they will probably take it. If not, offsides defense. Is that the call? The offsides on the defense.
That's the call that he.
But it was the back judge threw that flag. But the judge in the defensive backfield threw that flag. It's the. Oh, 2 penalties. Oh, face mask on Hopkinton. So Holliston will get a first down and 15-yard penalty here.
So on the So that on the penalty flag, Panthers will get a first down deep into Hopkinton territory. 7:51 to go here in the first quarter. We're just underway. Panthers with a 1st and 10 at the Hopkinton 33-yard line. And we saw our first wrinkle of the game with Holliston showing their war Wildcat offense, and they're going to set up in it again. And that is Mike Nash appearing to get the direct snap, and he does, heads to his left. Nash gets a little bit of the corner there for a short gain.
That's nice job by the Hopkinton defense stretching that out, because Mikey Nash, if he makes that turn, chances are he's going to be gone or he's going to get a lot of yardage. And Hopkinton did a nice job of stretching that out and keeping it to a 1-yard gain.
So 2nd down and 9 for the Panthers as they substitute personnel quickly. Looks like they're going to go to their spread set. Benko with Ibbotson stepping to his left. Quinn, number 6, and Armstrong to the right. And Benko keeps it himself after the fake to Ibbotson, and he crosses the 30 to the 35 for a nice gain.
Well, that wasn't a fake to Ibbotson. That was a tremendous fake to Ibbotson, and everyone thought he had the ball, and Hopkins just blew in there on it looked like some kind of a blitz, and they came in and they tackled Ibbotson, and Benko just went right by him. Nicely done. Nicely carried out by the quarterback and the halfback.
So 3rd down and 1. Holliston mixing it up, formations and plays. Nash, Quinn, and Seymour, number 8, to the left of the formation. Armstrong to the right. Here on 3rd down and short, Benko's going to take it himself. Ball's on the ground, but scooped up. Looks like Holliston. Let's look at for the signal.
That's going to be a 1st down, I believe.
So Alex Kelly and Will Crowley there for the fumble recovery, but Panthers pick up a 1st down and move the chains.
Now, the other thing that's happening here is, Tom, you're keeping that defense on the field a long time. You're eating up a lot of clock here, and you're keeping that offense of Hopkinton off the field. So Holliston, they'll take this. They'll take a nice, long bunch of runs like this, eat that clock up, and get a score here.
So they set up in war with Naughton back in. Armstrong on the right. Pitch to him off the left side. Tucks in behind a couple of Panthers for a short gain.
Hopkinton's doing a nice job of coming off the blocks. Holliston's trying to hold those blocks a little bit longer, but Hopkinton's doing a nice job. You saw it on that play where they were able to come off of the block. 2 guys come off of the block and make that tackle. Holliston's got to either hold that block or push the players back another couple feet to give him that little crease so that Armstrong can take off.
So 2nd down and 9.
5:15 left to go in the first quarter.
3 receivers to Benko's right. Armstrong, Nash, and Seymour. Benko hands off to Ibbotson. Nice hole. He crossed the 20. Gain of just 1 before he's pushed back.
Well, you can see why they were excited about this defense, though, Tom. They're very, very quick to the ball, and they come attack. They attack. They're very aggressive, and they're all coming right to the ball. Now, that's a great thing to have, but you can put in plays that can make that a deficit for a team. See if Holliston's able to do that.
So call it a 3rd down. 3rd down and 8 for Holliston. Armstrong, Quinn, and Seymour to the right. Nash is split far to the left. Benson, number 27, in. Steps to Benko's right. Benko rolls right, away from the rush. Fires. Picked off. Intercepted by number 50. And we've got our first turnover of the game, and Hopkinton will have the ball at their own 11-yard line.
Well, it was kind of a small window he was throwing into, and Hopkinton played that defensively, played that old tip drill, where one player tips the ball to the other, and they were able to finish it off.
So 4:07 to go in the first quarter. The Panthers drove from their own a 30-yard line after a 5-yard penalty. So a nice drive for Holliston, but it ends deep in Hopkinton territory.
As you said, Tom, 4:07, no score here. And now we're going to look for number 5, Kelleher. He's the quarterback, and number 2, Will Abbott. He's the wide receiver that they both, I believe, have broken school records here for touchdowns, touchdown passes.
So Kelleher in the empty backfield on first down. Looks deep to the right. Nobody there, incomplete. Kelleher has just had a fantastic season, the junior quarterback. 76 completions on 112 attempts, 68%, 1,287 yards. And as you mentioned, Jay, 21 touchdowns in just 6 games, and that's a school record. Will Abbott, number 2, 38 catches of those 76 for 830 yards, a 21.8 average. He's got 12 touchdowns for a school record. He also collected a school record with 13 catches against Wayland earlier this year. So now there's a back in the backfield. Handed off to number 23. That's Connor Hebert. Gain of 2. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 for Hopkinton.
Well, what Holliston's doing right now is they're putting Brad Seymour, who does a really nice job of covering man-to-man. They're putting him basically all alone out there on Abbott. Now that's, he's got the length over him. He's got the length over Abbott. Seymour does, and he's got the knowledge of how to play defensive back. So he's a good guy to put on him if you're just going to play man-to-man on him. I wonder if they're going to bring one of the safeties over to help at some point. You got Abbott now is in the slot.
To Kelleher's left, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Kelleher. Empty backfield on 3rd down and long. And he's got put down under the rush. The Panthers come up with a sack. Number 51, David Harding.
Well, what that was, Tom, that was a complete coverage sack. Holliston just shut down everybody. Everybody was blanketed. Great job on defense by Holliston, and of course the guys came in and made the tackle that they had to do. The other thing is they did a good job of containing Kelleher. Didn't let him get out of that pocket and able to finish that thing off down there. And now Holliston's going to have a chance to get really good field position.
Back to receive the punt, Jake Armstrong and Nash, but they're going to just let it roll. It's going to come to a stop at the Hiller 42-yard line. So with 2 minutes and 24 seconds to go in this first quarter, no score, and the Panthers are going to have great field position for their second offensive drive.
Well, how many times have I said this, too? A lot of times with Holliston, sometimes they'll score quickly, but a lot of times it takes 1 or 2 of those drives to really get that offense in gear and really get them going. There's a lot going on. Now, this year, they came out after their bye week here, and they came out and put a few little wrinkles in here and there. So it might take a little bit to get them going. But once you get going, I think what's happening here is Holliston's building a little bit of confidence, a little more confidence, and get that momentum on their side. And if Holliston can score and control this game like they're controlling it now, you might see a little bit of doubt forming on that other side of the field. 2:24 left to go in the first quarter.
So the Panthers line up in that War Wildcat, and the snap gets away. And a big loss on the play will back Holliston up.
Yeah, and that's the second snap that's gone a little awry so far tonight. Now, I'm not sure what that is. I'll see if I can find out what that is, but that may be a function of they may be playing a man right over the center, and the center's got to center the ball and bring his hands up really quickly. Sometimes they don't have the man over the center, and the center gets to go to left or the right. It's a little bit easier task for him. Not sure if that's what's happening here. We'll find out.
Coach Kiley signaling in the play. Panthers line up in their spread offense. Number 2, Bill Nash, lined up to the left. Wide receiver Armstrong to the right. Benko gets sacked, and a flag flies.
Holding Holliston. Looks like. If it's against Holliston, this penalty would be declined, obviously.
Waiting for the referee's signal.
I'll tell you, Tom, this is a very, very fast defense. And you got to put a body on these guys somewhere. You got to even have to just chip them and don't let them come in.
And so the penalty was declined by Coach Gerard. That's going to bring up a third down from the 35-yard line. So third and 33. Thanks, Los. Armstrong split to the right. Nash to the left. Benko with a couple of steps fires downfield. Intended for Armstrong, but incomplete. And that'll bring up fourth down, forcing the Panthers to punt.
Well, you start with good field position, and, you know, you got to take advantage of these things. You can't continue to make these kind of errors. The other thing is, Tom, that, you know, we're going to think a little bit about is this is their prelude to the playoffs. So from here on in, until Thanksgiving, you're going to be playing some really good teams. So you've got to make sure that you're ready to play these teams, and you can't come out and make mistakes like this.
Benko set up to punt the ball for Holliston. And he gets off a nice kick all the way back to Abbott at the 29. Unable to find any room. He's tackled at the 31. And that's where Hopkinton will start with 54 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score here. Hillers and Panthers.
And somewhere in this set of downs, I would think you're going to see Kelleher try and hit Abbott deep.
Now the Hopkinton offense is averaging 215 yards a game through the air, 279 total, but that means just 64 yards a game on the ground. Panther defense has allowed 160 yards of rushing a game and giving up 95 on the pass for 255. Kelleher with one back in there in the backfield. He rolls right, tucks the ball. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage.
It's kind of interesting. Mikey Nash has now gone man-to-man with Kelleher. And, you know, I think I noticed when...
You mean with Abbott?
With Abbott, I'm sorry. And with when Mikey is out there on offense, Mikey Nash, you see Kelleher looking for him, too. So the two speedsters are looking to play off each other.
Up front for the Panthers, number 54, Will Soloria. Number 55, John Canal. Number 51, Dave Harding. At linebacker, 53, Alex Kelly. I'll get you the other numbers in just a second. So second down and 9 for the Hillers. Kelleher, short drop, fires complete to number 3, senior captain Matt Lindquist.
And boy, Holliston really anticipated that play really well. It's the end of the quarter, but Holliston anticipated that play really well because they were set up, it looked like, to blitz, and they pulled their linebacker back just at the nick of time, right to where, almost right where that ball is. The ball got, the pass got completed, and the linebacker was right there to make the tackle.
So the end of the first quarter, no score here in Hopkinton between the Panthers and the Hillers. And at the end of the first quarter, it's time for Coach's Corner, brought to you by HollistonFootball.com. All Panthers, all the time. Website coach Andrea Murphy doing a great job. Great things, pictures, photos from all the different games on there. You want to check out HollistonFootball.com. Well, earlier this year, Todd Kiley was one of 2 Massachusetts football head coaches selected as a VIP guest to attend USA Football's National Coaches Conference in Orlando this past January.
Oh, nice.
Nice honor for Coach Kiley.
Yep.
And a bit of trivia, Jay.
Okay. I'm good at this.
This is the height of the TVL season. We're actually at the high point of the Tri-Valley League.
The highest point in the Tri-Valley League.
Highest point in the Tri-Valley League, as Hopkinton is 410 feet above sea level. How far above sea level is Holliston?
377.
No, 188.
Oh, 188.
I know. This is getting a little lightheaded up here in Hopkinton.
Look out.
So 3rd down and 5 for the Hillers as they change ends to start the second quarter. Forward pitch to Abbott. He's got enough for the first down and is tackled by Cam Lamont, number 1, just short of midfield.
Well, you know they're going to get Abbott involved at some point.
Also out there at linebacker, number 21, Dwayne Fahey. Number 8, Brad Seymour. Number 1, Cam Lamont. Number 4, Ryan Benko. Number 11, Henry Nutt. Number 3 is Mike Nash. And number 5, Jake Armstrong. So 1st down and 10 for the Hillers. Hand off to Connor Hebert on the jet play. Gain of 2 to midfield. In comes 57, Will Crowley. In for Salorier. Panthers want to keep their front line fresh as we start the second quarter.
Now this is where when you have a passing offense like Hopkinton, Tom, this is where they look to throw the ball. So this is where you want to stop, maybe put some pressure on Kelleher back here.
2 receivers stacked to both sides of the formation for Hopkinton. Kelleher rolls right, looks downfield.
Got him.
Up come the Panthers.
Got him.
And
Yeah.
a big hit. Alex Kelly there first, and then Fahey with the tackle.
Great to see Dwayne Fahey out there because he's got really good strength and speed, and he can keep up with those guys. And, of course, Alex Kelly is just absolutely phenomenal. He's just, for years now, he's been doing that at his linebacker spot. Really nice job, and they read that, and they knew that that pass was going to be coming. Of course, now this will be another pass to be thrown because when you get that 2nd and long with a passing offense, they're going to throw the ball. Nice job by Holliston to cover up.
So 3rd and 9 for Hopkinton.
Now you can come if you want to come, but you just want to make sure on a blitz that you're containing that quarterback.
Abbott in the slot to the left. 2 receivers to both sides. Kelleher looks down the middle. Panther! Got him and take him down for a sack. Number 55, John Canal. And number 57, Will Crowley.
Yeah, where you see a lot of times, Coach Athey likes to send one player. A lot of times we've seen, Sean Keast come in and make that play. But it looks like tonight they're trying to send a few more players in there, and they're testing the middle of that line, and they're winning that battle right now. Holliston is.
So Hopkinton to punt. This one drops and takes a big Hiller roll all the way to the 9-yard line. So with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half, no score here at Hopkinton. And the Panthers will start deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and this is right here. This is the point of the game where Holliston a lot of times will start really starting to rev things up offensively. So see if they open it up a little bit, see if they get things going a little bit. I think what you may want to do, they can still make plays up the middle. We saw that, and they can get some big push up the middle. But I think they can also make plays around the end. Now, this Hopkinton team is very quick, so they're able to defend the ends pretty well. They do a pretty good job of containing, but Holliston has the players with the speed that can split that contain and take the ball downfield.
So that's two 3rd downs in a row, Jay, that the Panthers have stopped a drive with a big sack of Kelleher. And that blitz came right up the middle.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for, to put pressure up the middle. Whenever you're facing a great quarterback, you want to put pressure on him up the middle.
So Panthers on their own 9 go to a spread offense, 3 receivers to Benko's left. Quinn in motion, hand off to him. Tries to get the corner. And let's see, short gain there. Well defended by the Hillers. Bring up a 2nd down and 9.
Tom, they're going to the ball very aggressively. This is where you can set up a reverse, and or a screen pass, because they are really going after the ball. They're yelling ball. They're going after ball, and everyone's going in that same direction. The whole flow is going in one direction. You can come back across that direction and make some good yardage. 7:42 left to go in the first half. No score.
So 2nd down and 9. Benko fakes it to Ibbotson, takes it himself, gets it across the 10 to the 14-yard line. That'll bring up a makeable 3rd down and 5 for Holliston.
He was one back step away from breaking that. They just caught the back of his back leg. Were able to finish out that tackle. If he had broken that back leg, he would have got a nice gain out of that.
Well, remember Jack Barrett with those quarterback draws and also that quarterback option. He patented that. Nobody else can do that play.
He was so big and powerful. He was a very powerful runner, and he could break tackles like crazy.
Jack Barrett at Trinity College this year as a freshman. Benko, 3rd down and 5. Looks left, fires, Nash dives, incomplete. And the Panthers will be forced to punt.
That was a big 3rd down stop for Hopkinton right there. And, you know, Hopkinton, unless there's a tremendous punt or something happens, is going to have really good field position. 6:42 left in the first half. Still no score. These two teams just kind of feeling each other out like two heavyweight boxers.
No, great game so far. Great night, huge crowd. Benko's punt takes a high bounce before going out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. And it looks like it's going to be at the Panther 35-yard line.
Now, Abbott is not, you know, he's a great receiver. I don't know how he is in punt returns, but when you watch him on the field, he looks like he'd be really sensational on punt returns. So it's a good idea there to kick it away from him. You might be better off. Maybe it didn't go quite as far as you wanted it to, but it's better than kicking it to Abbott and let him run it back 25 yards.
Well, Will Abbott's a great three-sport athlete, lacrosse player, hockey player, football player. He's going to Quinnipiac College, Quinnipiac University on a lacrosse scholarship.
Sounds a little bit like a kid we used to have.
Zach Elkinson, the record holder for the Panthers with 15 touchdowns on a season. Kelleher looks right, complete to number 8. That's senior captain Mike Iannelli. And coming to this game, he had 12 catches for 186 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
That's a great play right there. What they did is they took Will Abbott and they ran him across the field in the other direction, and the flow of the offense, the defense was kind of focused on him and went with him, and they were able to complete the pass for a nice play. That's a nicely designed play. When you have a kid like Abbott there, you want to play him both as a decoy and as a receiver.
So 1st down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Kelleher fires left, tipped, no good. Ryan Benko got his hand in there. So 2nd down and 10. HCAT is live tonight on Facebook Live. Thank you to the HCAT crew, Bruce Guilfoy and Lisa Hedrick, working hard to get the remote set up here, and we are beaming ourselves across the country.
And a quick thanks to to Hopkinton High School too. A good thank you to them to let us do this.
So 2nd down and 10 for Hopkinton. Hillers, pass complete, close to a 1st down. Let's see where they mark it. Catch by Lindquist. Well, Holliston's really forcing Kelleher to check down to his other receivers, but he's got some good ones out there.
Well, he had
Lindquist and Iannelli and then Shane Cooney.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do, Tom, is they're trying to open up that middle by sending guys across the field and sending people out wide. Right now, they got 2-down territory, obviously, here, so they have a lot of things they can do.
3rd and 2 for Hopkinton. Ball at the 15. Kelleher looks left, tucks it, takes it, gets a hit, but picks up the 1st down as he crosses the 10.
And I was just going to say, watch Kelleher on this, because he was going to look, if he had the opportunity to run, it was just really short yardage. He was able to make it. And now, they're sitting here on the 10-yard line. It's 1st and goal to 10. And, so they have a lot of options. They'll probably try a couple passes here at the beginning, and if they get down close, maybe they'll try a run. But right now, I'd look for the passing game.
Clock rolling. We're down to 5 minutes to go in the first half. No score. Hopkinton in the red zone right now for the first time tonight.
If Holliston's got a blitz, this is where they want to use it.
Inside handoff to Abbott, and he's in for a touchdown. So they went to the cross-buck play there. They brought Hebert across, fake to him, and then inside handoff to Abbott, who was on the right wing of the line there. And Hopkinton is on the board with 4:41 to go here in the first half.
And when you have a play like Abbott, you got to use him, as I said, use him as a decoy, use him for real. You got to get the ball in his hands. You know, Holliston's had those athletes, and he may still have some this year. The big thing is to get them in the open field, get the ball in their hands, and only good things happen.
Hopkinton lines up for the extra point. Kick is up and good. So with 4:41 to go in the first half, Hopkinton's on the board first, leading the Panthers 7-0. Will Abbott with his 13th touchdown of the season, but his first rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah, and now the Holliston offense is going to come back on the field, Tom. And frankly, you know, in the last 2 games, they've shot themselves in the foot a few times. So they got to come out here and play really just forget who's on the other side of the field. Come out here, don't make any mistakes, and take the ball and just march it down the field. They have the capability of doing this, and, you know, they should be able to do this now. And I think they will, you know, but they can't keep making penalties, and they can't keep missing blocks and you know, dropping the ball or whatever. They got to come out and really play Holliston football. If they do that, they'll be fine. 4:41 to go in the first half, 7-0. Plenty of time. There's nothing to worry about here at this point at all.
Well, a heavyweight fight is punch, counter punch, and Hopkinton landed the first one. Deep kick all the way back to the 10-yard line. Nash scoops it up. Nice move as he crosses the 20 to the 22, and that's where the Panthers will start their drive.
Now, Hopkinton is what, Division 4, correct? Hopkinton,
right.
Division 4. So
they're the largest enrollment team in the Tri-Valley League.
Right, and so they got to be right at the top of Division 4 too. So they're looking, obviously they'll probably have a home game next week in the first round of the playoffs. And right now, to me, they look like they have it all. They have a good kicking game. You know, of course they got this defense that's very, very quick to the ball. The only thing I don't know is if they can handle, and maybe they can, I don't know, is if you get one of those big burly backs in a big offensive line and just run it down their throats. I don't know if they can handle that. But right now, with the speed and everything, they definitely have the speed where they can, you know, play with a fast team as they're doing here with Holliston.
Panthers line up in the Wildcat War. Nash rolls left, throws, got Armstrong behind the D. And Jake Armstrong with the catch into Hopkinton territory. Well, Holliston, like you said, Jay, he had the Hillers following that play, pursuing hard, but that one worked. Nice pass by Nash, his first completion of the season.
Well, Mikey Nash did that right in the middle of 3 players, and the 4th player was in white, and he made the catch. Very nicely done. Nicely done.
Well, it helped that player was number 5 with a good set of hands. Jake Armstrong got behind the defense. That's Jake's 7th catch of the season. Benko, handoff to Ibbotson. Tries to spin away from her tackler, but got a loss on the play.
Yeah, you're going to have to make that corner if you're going to run that jet play or a play to the outside. That's going to have to be a real quick play because these linebackers are able to react very, very quickly. They're getting where they want to go pretty quickly here. So you've got to, you know, get somebody out there quick. And if you do, then you can take that turn and go upfield. But if you don't do that, that's what's going to happen every time.
So 2nd down and 12 for the Panthers. 3 receivers to Benko's left. They fake it to Ibbotson. And he is going to be stopped for a loss of 1 on the play, bringing up a 3rd down and long. So now it's Hopkinton that's getting the penetration up the middle against the Panthers.
Well, there's things you can do. I mean, they're pretty well schooled, this Hopkinton team. Obviously, you can run a screen pass against that. Let them come in and run a screen pass and see if that helps. But if you do, you want to get it to somebody who's going to be very quick and very fast.
Armstrong split to the right. Mike Nash Quinn and Seymour to the left of the formation. Benko rolls right, looks for Armstrong. Knocked down, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down and 15. Clock stop with 2 minutes and 38 seconds to go here in the first half. Panthers trailing by 7.
Now this is going to be an interesting call here. See what Coach Kiley does.
I think Coach Kiley is going to roll the dice here, knowing that the Panthers have to kick the ball to the Hillers to start the second half. They're going to have to take a timeout
This
with 2:36 to go here in the first half.
Yeah.
4th down and long plays that they've been practicing that they really want to execute on, and I think they're going to pull one out right here. So empty backfield for Benko. 3 receivers to his right, and then Benko punts.
I was just going to say, that's a great idea to punt, and I'll tell you why. Because you had a free punt because Will Abbott had to come up and cover his receiver. So you had a free punt there, and you don't have to worry about Abbott getting the ball and running. A good job right there.
So it's out of bounds at the 20-yard line, backing up the Hillers with 2 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the first half. You know, offenses make big plays, defenses too. Holliston right here, if Hopkinton's going to try to open up a little bit and try and cover 80 yards, Holliston might be able to get a takeaway here deep in Hopkinton territory.
Now, and I believe Hopkinton has all 5 timeouts. So with the 5 timeouts, of course, there's no 2-minute warning. But with the 5 timeouts, you got plenty of time to work the ball down the field, too. You don't have to go for it all. But, you know, they might feel that they can.
Abbott to the left. He starts coming back slowly in motion.
Here
Kelleher looks that way, fires down the middle. Well defended there. Nice job by number 8, Brad Seymour.
Well, I talked about Brad earlier and his ability to cover defensively. You know, and they've got a nice situation now. Let's see, but this stops the clock, 2:13. Holliston doesn't have to use a timeout. And now this is probably the play that's going to determine what happens at the rest of this half. If they end up, you know, with a 3rd and really long, it's going to be a little bit easier for Holliston to play against the pass. Holliston's really going to have to play this down really well. I would put a lot of pressure right here on the quarterback up the middle.
Now Hopkinton sends 4 receivers to Kelleher's left, 1 to the right. Kelleher's going to take it himself up the middle, and he is stopped for a gain of 7.
And that's why I say you want to put pressure on him up the middle because you don't want him to be able to do that.
And Hopkinton does not stop the clock. It's rolling with 1:55 here in the first half, a 3rd down and 3.
Well, what they're going to do now is they don't want to leave any time, or they don't want to leave any time for Holliston. They're going to look here to do something maybe short and get that 1st down, and then they'll take some shots down the field.
So same formation. They set up, stack 4 receivers, split to the left. Kelleher is going to take it himself, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
And now Holliston will take a timeout more than likely.
To stop the clock with 1:27 to go here in the first half, and a 4th down situation, which Hopkinton has to punt with being so deep in their own end. So strategy wheels are flying here between Coach Kiley and Coach Garrard.
And I'll tell you, Tom, right here, don't necessarily think they're going to punt. You better make sure to cover any fakes that may happen here. You don't want to give them this 1st down.
Doesn't look like they have any good hands guys up short. And they punt it away. It's going to come down at the 45 and then takes a great Hiller bounce. And it comes to a stop at the 36-yard line. So the Panthers will have 1:14 to go here in the first half. And they're just 64 yards from the Hiller goal line.
And that's the way they played that perfectly, Tommy. They punted the ball. They got it down there. They let their defense hold. And now they get the ball back with their they only had to take 1 timeout there. So they have 2 timeouts left. They can also go use a sideline to get out of bounds to stop the clock. And they can go kind of deep now, too, if they want to, because if there is a turnover, chances are, if another few seconds goes out the clock, Hopkinton won't be able to score. So this gives you a lot of options here of different things you can do. You got to get it into the speed guys' hands out here at this point.
Well, number 4, Ryan Benko, 452 yards passing and 8 touchdown passes on the season. He's got 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Low snap, scoops it up, away from the pressure, but he's going to be sacked. Well, actually, he gets right back to the line of scrimmage. Holliston takes a timeout with 1:03 to go. So 2nd down and 11. Benko likes to spread the ball around. He's got Armstrong with 7 catches, Seymour with 8 catches, Kevin Quinn with 3 catches. So, who am I missing? Nash with 9 catches. So they got some good targets out there for Holliston. 2nd and 11.
And now the one on man-to-man coverage is on this side of the ball.
Benko looks incomplete, intended for Nash.
See, Ryan, it looks like Ryan. Quarterbacks, sometimes they'll throw to the man, but sometimes they throw to a spot. It looks like in this situation, he's throwing to the spot, and the Hopkinton players are just getting to that spot first.
So clock stop with 59 seconds to go here in the first half. Hopkinton leading 7-0. Panthers would like to convert here on 3rd down and 11.
And this is where, Tom, it would not hurt to do a run here and make Hopkinton take one of their timeouts.
Benko looks right, back left, down the middle. Intended for Nash. He looked like he had a step there, just missed it. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, now the key is you got to keep the ball out of Abbott's hands. You got to punt the ball, punt it out of bounds somewhere where he can't get it. Get it over the 50-yard line here, and with 54 seconds left, see if let your defense take over again.
Benko's kick is high.
Might hit a player there. No, not at all.
And it comes to a stop.
Don't touch the ball.
At the 30-yard line.
You want to be careful not to touch the ball. As soon as you touch the ball, the clock stops. So you want to let the ball die on its own. Take as much time off the clock. 43 seconds.
So on the exchange, looks like Hopkinton moved up like 2 yards. And so they're going to have 43 seconds from their own 30.
Yeah, and now you got to be careful. You're going to have to play your safeties back a little bit because they're going to go for it here. I'll pretty much guarantee you that on the first couple plays, they're going to go deep.
I mean, Brad Seymour, he had a step on Abbott that first time. It just the 2 of them were competing for the ball there. That was a close one that could have got picked off.
Official timeout there. Okay, they'll start the play clock now. Not the game clock though. You have to play just a hair deep and make sure that number 2 doesn't get that ball.
So 2 receivers to both sides of the formation. Kelleher looks down the middle. Slant play complete to Abbott, but inbounds after a short gain. Hopkinton takes a timeout with 35 seconds to go after the 4-yard gain.
Yeah, Mikey Nash, nice job on coverage there, and I'm not quite sure what that was all about. I mean, I know you want to play the ball, but to keep him that close to the line of scrimmage, I'm not sure, but we'll take it.
Some of the film that I watched on Hopkinton, that's how they like to get Abbott going, is just short little bubble screens, little slants, drag him across, give him the ball within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage at full speed and see what he can do. So 2nd down and 6. This time he fires to the left. Intended for Cooney, but Brad Seymour was step for step with him right there.
You know, you talk about what they do with the short passing game with Abbott, and in the pros now they have a stat that when a quarterback is passing the ball a lot, the stat is how far the ball goes in the air before it's caught. So in other words, if a receiver catches a ball 2 yards deep and runs 98 yards, the quarterback gets a 100-yard credit for a 100-yard pass. But now they're kind of keeping track of that, so you can kind of tell if a quarterback has the ability to pass the ball deep in the air, which obviously Kelleher does. We saw right there that he can do it.
So big 3rd down and 6 with 29 seconds to go here in the first half. Hopkinton up by 7. Kelleher fires to his left, complete to number 6, Shane Cooney.
Clock stops now to move the chains.
Stop with 22 seconds to go.
Pretty slow chain gang here, too.
The ball's at the Panther 47.
And now
Hopkinton takes a timeout.
Yeah.
But Panthers trying to make history here, see if they can't get a defensive stop.
Here they come on a blitz.
Right up the middle. Kelleher turns away from it into his own man, but gets away. And he is tackled as he gets to the 30-yard line. And that'll stop the clock with 13 seconds to go.
It was almost like, believe it or not, there were too many guys who got to him. And all the Holliston guys were right there, and he was able to pull out. And all the Holliston guys were around each other. And they really had him there. That would have probably ended the quarter if they had completed the sack there. But now they put him in a position where he can throw a couple short passes. They still have, I think, 3 or 4 timeouts.
Well, Holliston coaches are going to call the defense over to talk to them. 1st and 10 from the Panther 30-yard line. 13 seconds to go. Kelleher drops back, steps up, down the middle, tipped right away. Looked like Cooney had a shot at it, but I think Seymour got a hand on that one.
Yeah, it looked like Brad Seymour just at the end. Brad's a outfielder in baseball. He did his best outfielding back there and come back and stop the play. 7 seconds left.
Hopkins who wants a timeout to talk it over.
7 seconds left to go in the half. There is time if you do a quick play and call a quick timeout for 2 plays here. But if Holliston can put some pressure on the quarterback, make him eat the whole clock.
Kelleher back, looking down to the end zone. Throws it underneath to Cooney, who's tackled out of bounds. And let's see what they do. They're going to call that the half. So after the first half here at Hopkinton Dave Hughes Stadium, the Panthers trail the Hillers 7-0, and the teams head to the lock. Well, the referee lifted his hat.
Looks like we'd have it. Yeah, looks like it's going to be 1 second left on the clock.
Now he lifted his hat again. Now, when the referee lifts his hat, that's the half. Now, there is the game clock, but there's also the timing on the field.
Right, the time on the field is the official time. The game clock is not the official time. And I don't like this. I don't like they put 1 second back on the ground. I don't like the feeling of this at all.
Hopkinton's going to take a timeout.
Well, right now, Holliston's got a chore ahead of them. They got to really, right here, Tom, you must put pressure, not only put pressure on Kelleher, but you have to get your arms, your hands up high to take away those passing lanes.
So 2 receivers to Kelleher's left, 2 to the right. They bring 1 in motion. Kelleher rolls towards the wide side of the field, fires back across the middle, incomplete. And that will do it for the first half. The Hopkinton Hillers 7, the Holliston Panthers 0. And now Los with the halftime lowdown.
Thanks, Tom. The score at halftime, Hopkinton leading the Panthers 7-0. Hopkinton really controlling this football game in the first half here, both on the scoreboard and statistically. 105 total yards of offense for the Hillers. Holliston only able to manage 50 yards of total offense. That's 35 yards passing and 15 yards rushing. 62 yards passing, 43 yards rushing for Hopkinton. On third down, Panthers are 2 of 8 in the first half. Hopkinton is 3 of 6. Holliston is dominating the time of possession so far in this game, 13 minutes to just under 9 minutes for the Hillers. For the Panthers, leading passer is Michael Nash. He has 35 yards passing. Leading rusher for the Panthers is Ryan Benko. He's got 15 yards on 6 carries. And then Jake Armstrong leading all receivers with 35 yards. For the Hillers of Hopkinton, Ryan Keller, the quarterback, he's 6 of 12 for 62 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Leading rusher for the Hillers is Will Abbott. He's got 23 yards and a touchdown. Defensively for the Panthers, Ryan Benko is also leading all tacklers, so he's getting it done on both sides of the football tonight. Dwayne Fahey and Henry Naughton, the other 2 leading tacklers on the Panthers tonight so far. And then Brad Seymour with 2 big pass breakups in the first half. Henry Naughton and Ryan Benko with a couple of pass breakups as well. For more stats and information on the Holliston Panthers, you can follow us on Twitter at HCatFootball, and that's the lowdown.
Thank you, Los. And we'll let the teams work it over in the locker room, and we'll be back with second half action in just a moment. Number 44, Connor Mulvaney, ready to kick off for the Panthers. His kick bounces at the 25, down to the 15-yard line. Nice hit there by number 17, Sean Keast. And Hopkinton's going to start at their own 25-yard line. Well, last year, Jay, the final score was 55-32 Panthers, but at halftime it was 18-14 Hillers. So, second half could be a tale of 2 halves, non-scoring and scoring, if last year was any indication.
And let's hope it is an indication, and let's hope it ends up in the same manner.
Panther defense did pretty well, holding Hopkinton to just 105 yards in the first half. That's below their average. Kelleher with the empty backfield on first down, short pitch out to the sidelines.
Yeah, that was either a horse collar or a face mask there, so.
Yeah, can't tackle up around the head.
Probably 15 yards tacked onto that. And once again, you come out in your very first play, you make that mistake that gives this team yardage, and you're really playing a dangerous game when you're not really playing that well offensively, and as a defense, which by the way has a lot of pressure on itself now because the defense has to play so well, they can't make a mistake, and when they do, then it becomes even worse.
Now that was number 7, Deloya, and that's another receiver. So Hillers start off the second half trying to get a different receiver involved in the offense.
Yeah, and what you're seeing now is that what that tells us is that they're going to come out and pass this half, because really that's where you want to come out, maybe try a couple of runs here or there. They had the one in the Abbott touchdown, but he had a few runs, but which you might call quote-unquote successful runs, has been Kelleher up the middle.
And that's been their MO. Hopkinton, 77% of their offense through the air this season. Kelleher rolls towards his triple receivers. Pass out on the flat to Abbott. He's tackled at the 45. Short of a first down.
Big hit there on Holliston player. Coach Kiley's pleading his case that it really wasn't legal. 10 minutes left.
So it's going to be second down and 2. Three receivers tight to the formation on the left-hand side. Kelleher rolls that way, away from the blitz. Tucks the ball, and heads into the Panthers secondary. And he's brought down at the 35-yard line.
Okay, so the pattern is developed. You know what's going to happen here. Kelleher is going to go left. Kelleher is going to go right. If he sees an opening, he's going to run the ball. If he has some way to throw the ball, he'll throw the ball. So what do? Well, you got to put some kind of a spy situation on him and not let him get out of that pocket. If he doesn't get out of the pocket, that's when you make him stay in there. That's when Holliston's had some success on the blitz.
This time they stack Abbott behind two other receivers to the right side. Kelleher rolls right, looks, fires, complete to number 3, Lindquist, with a catch inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. So 9 minutes, 11 seconds to go in the third quarter, and Hopkinton's really moving the ball from their own 25.
Yeah, and it's really simple, rolling your quarterback left, rolling your quarterback right. He's getting no pressure on him. And as I said before, if somebody's open, he's going to hit him. If they're not, he's going to be able to take that ball and make 4, 5, 6 yards. They've got to get in here somehow and contain him. They can't let him turn the corner. This is where you want to watch. Sometimes they'll run a reverse off of this down here, too. Watch Abbott.
Three receivers tight to the left. Kelleher rolls that way. Blitz comes on the backside. And it's incomplete. So the Hopkinton crowd was celebrating with the catch, but the referees indicate no catch. And that'll bring up second down.
Now, one thing that Holliston can do in a situation like this, and they get the players to do this, is you can take those middle defensive linemen and drop them back and play your linebackers a little bit wider and let your linebackers attack and kind of do a contain and see if your linebackers can come in and keep Kelleher within the pocket and make the sack. You can do that. They have the capability of just dropping those guys back just 3 or 4 yards, so they're controlling the middle of the field to make sure there's no short passes in there, and then bring your linebackers in and have your ends contained.
Empty backfield for Kelleher. Second down and 10 from the 14. Fake to Hebert, pitch to Abbott. Chased by Crowley. He's forced out of bounds close to the 10. Let's see where they... Brad Seymour finally able to get him out of bounds. Let's see where they mark the ball. Looks like they're going to put it at the 6. So that's a gain of 8. Should be third down and 2.
Well, they're just, as I keep saying, Tom, they're stretching the field. They're just running that. Holliston cannot let them keep doing that. They've got to come up and contain that goal. If they don't contain that, it's going to be a long second half for Holliston.
Well, let's watch where Abbott is. And he's on the far side of that triplets to the right side of the formation. That's where Kelleher rolls, tucks the ball. He's hit. Tackled by Crowley, but he's inside the 5.
But it's going to be a first and goal, it looks like.
Yeah, that was enough for the first down. They needed to get to the 4. So it's going to be a first and goal.
Now, one
thing
sometimes what a coach will do in a situation like this is, he's got that great passing combination. Maybe he'll want them to pick up a few stats here. So maybe they'll put the ball in the air instead of keeping it on the ground and go to him. So you got to make sure that Kelleher doesn't get to throw the ball to Abbott in this situation.
How'd that work for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl?
Well, I'm just saying.
Could use Pete Carroll call right now. Kelleher hands it to Cooney, but Cooney is just buried. And pulled away.
There's no whistle.
No, they're pointing at the ground.
Oh, boy.
I don't know about. Let's see what the call is. Coach Kiley is incensed because they had Cooney held up. He was pumping his legs when the ball came loose. I guess they said that his forward progress was stopped, and actually it was a loss on the play back to the 5, so it'll be 2nd and goal from the 5. Hebert lost 3 on the play.
This will definitely be a rollout by Kelleher. So you got to.
Well, that's where they've had the success, is to the outside.
Yep, this will definitely be a rollout.
Hebert to Kelleher's left. Panthers blitz, throw to the corner, knocked away! A full layout there. And number 3, Mike Nash, just came up big and swatted that ball away.
Nice job by this defense, and you know they're doing the best they can to keep Hopkinton out of the end zone. 7:07 left in the 3rd, 7-0 Hopkinton.
Well, you know where they're trying to go. They like working working it to the outside. They like working those corners. Holliston's been able to give enough penetration that the Kelleher can't sit back there in the pocket and wait for the middle to open up.
Well, don't forget too, Tom, when you're down this close to the end zone, your safeties aren't that deep. You can come up, you can do a lot of different things. You know, you don't want to be down this close to the end zone, but if you are, that's one advantage that you do have as a defense, is you don't have as much of the field to cover. So you can react a little more quickly.
So 3rd and goal from the 5. Abbott to the right.
Timeout.
And we got a timeout on the field. Well, Hebert's not in the game right now. They bring in more of a blocking back. Kelleher rolls to his left, looks to the corner, knocked away. Brad Seymour on the pass defense right there brings up a 4th down and 5. Looks like Coach Garrard's going to send out his field goal unit.
Yeah, and they do have a kicker who can do this. I'm really surprised that in that play, Kelleher had an open field. I'm surprised Kelleher didn't just cut up and go in himself. He was only about 3 or 4 yards out when he threw that ball. And he had the capability of doing that. Now, he didn't do it. The other thing I'm really surprised at, when you got a chance to put away a team like Holliston, you want to do it. You know, they're going to have a 2-possession lead if they make this. And but if they don't, you know, this is going to give Holliston tremendous lift.
Low snap, kick is up and good. So with 6:57 to go in the 3rd quarter, Hopkinton scores on their first drive of the second half to make it 10-0 over the Panthers.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, you know, we talk about this a lot, Tom. We have a lot of fun because when you're watching a football game, you get to second guess a lot of different things. And, you know, maybe this will turn out fine for Hopkinton. The Hopkinton coaches know what they're doing and everything over there, but if that was me, I would have said to my offense, get in there. Get in the end zone. You come all the way down the field going left and going right. You know, Kelleher in that last play, like I said, he had the opportunity to cut up and run it and at least get so close that they could have dove over afterwards. That's a big plus for Holliston to come down there and say, okay, they can't move the ball 2 yards on us. One thing when you have a team like Holliston who's playing a little bit off, they were a little bit off these last couple of games, what you don't want to give a team like Holliston is confidence and hope.
And I think that stop right there on 1st and goal gave it to him.
It might have. We'll see.
Deep kick taken by Armstrong at the 10. Breaks away from one tackler, got some room, crosses the 50, pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The Panthers are in business in Hopkinton territory.
And that's what happens. You'd have a back-to-back play there where they had the great stop down on the goal line of the 3 stops, and then they come out and they have a nice return on the kickoff and give Holliston give them some hope here. Now, the thing here is the defense has not been the problem in this game. It's been the offense. And the offense is going to have to really step up right here, take this ball downfield and score a touchdown.
Well, Jake Armstrong been doing it. He's this season giving the team a boost, 6 touchdowns, leading the team, 206 yards on the ground, 67 through the air. He's thrown a 19-yard pass, and there was a 45-yard kickoff return for the senior number 5. Panthers are going to go to war here to start the second half once they get the chain gang untangled. They put Fahey, number 21, on the left wing. Nash on the right. Naughton pitches it to Nash. Nash picks up a couple of yards to the 43. They want to get these big linemen up front for the Panthers moving. Once they get running in this war offense, Jay, that's when the running backs get to the second level and really do some damage.
Yeah, and it's really not the size or the strength, I don't think, Hopkins is playing that. They just have tremendous quickness in that front line. Looks like they're lined up offside here, too.
Ibbotson moves to the right.
See,
we got a illegal motion penalty against the Panthers. Back them up, bring up second down and 13.
And this is focus, Tom. This is just focus. You have to go out there and you have to know what's going on. Holliston just doesn't have the capability that they've had in the past where they can come out and make a mistake or two and not worry about it because of the firepower. They've got to play a really solid game. And right now, offensively, they're just not doing that.
All it takes is one crease, one good pass in the open. Panthers could break this one, get some yardage. Benko rolls to the short side of the field, tucks it up. He picks up 3 yards back to the original line of scrimmage at the 45. That's going to bring up third down and 10.
We don't know if these plays are designed specifically to do that or if Ryan just feels that all his receivers are covered and he's taking off. It seems like those might be plays that are designed that way because he's taken off pretty quickly. He doesn't seem to be looking over the whole field. The other thing about Ryan is they can do the same thing they did with Kelleher, run him to the left or the right and let him throw because we saw in the summer he has a nice job. He can do a nice job of throwing on the run.
Third down and 10 for the Panthers. Benko again to the left. Looks down the middle. He's got Nash behind the defense. Touchdown, Panthers! A 45-yard strike. Ryan Benko to Mike Nash, and the Panthers are on the board.
And that's what I mean. They ran him to the left. They let him come out and run the ball to the left, and that movement really helps him. It's like the old Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid when he said, "Can I move?" He said, "What do you mean move?" And when he moved, he shot better.
That's right.
It's the same thing here. You can come out and you can make that play. I'm going to tell you, give this one to the defense down here. That defensive stop really helped them a lot. This is a big extra point for Holliston.
Benko gets under center. They go for the quarterback sneak.
They got it.
And the two-point conversion is good. Benko goes in from 3 out.
What a great fake. That's all Benko did was come up. They were totally set up for the kick. And Benko comes right in and they go in. And all of a sudden, there's a player on this field named Momentum. And he's fickle, but he's switched right now. And it's all Holliston. And you're gonna watch how this defense plays to that. Now, the only thing, you got to keep playing that steady way, the way you've been playing.
So Ryan Benko with his 9th touchdown pass of the season. A beautiful 45-yarder to Mike Nash. Nash's 2nd touchdown on the season. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season. Excuse me.
And this was like that Medfield game. Hopkins had a 14-point lead in Medfield game deep in the 4th quarter. And Medfield came up and scored 14 unanswered points. And of course, they lost in overtime. Hopkins beat them in overtime. But, they got to start thinking to themselves, can we finish this or not?
Mulvaney's kick taken by Abbott. Abbott is covered up as he crosses the 30 to the 32. But the Panther defense with that goal line stand, even though they gave up the field goal, has really ignited the Panthers right here as they were able to counterpunch. Big Jake Armstrong kick return for 45 yards. And then Benko to Nash, 45 yards. Really got this crowd and this team on the run now.
And by the way, Ryan Benko really needed that. He needed a really nice play, and he came up with one there. Mikey Nash. See, that's the thing. Mikey, these kids, a lot of these kids, Nash and Fahey and Benson and Seymour and Armstrong, these kids got a lot of speed. They got a lot of speed. They got to start using it, and they did right there.
Now the Panther defense needs to pick up that momentum. Kelleher rolls right. Up comes the defense. A big hit. But a completed catch to number 8. Kelleher paid the price for holding onto the ball there, but complete to Mike Iannelli up at the 46-yard line. So a first down for Hopkinton. 4:14, 4:12 to go here in the third quarter. Hopkinton with the lead 10-8 over the Panthers. Again, Hopkinton going to go empty backfield as they move Hebert to the right of the formation. Here he comes across. They hand it off to him on the jet play. Up come the Panthers. A hit behind the line, but Hebert able to squeeze out and pick up a few yards and get out of bounds.
Now that's what you do. You do 2 or 3 things right, and you get in the right position, and you come there and you do everything right except tackle them. You gotta finish off that tackle. Can't keep giving them that many yards.
So gain a 6 on the play. It'll be second down and 4. Hiller's at the Panther 48.
Defense needs to make a play here.
4 receivers to the right side of the formation. Empty backfield for Kelleher. He fires out into the flat.
Yeah, there's
knocked out of bounds, but a Panther first down.
Yeah, and there's a holdover here that really got missed, and the Holliston player was holding the Hopkinton player was holding the Holliston player. He couldn't make a turn. He couldn't turn right in front of the ref. I mean, I saw it. I don't know where they didn't see it, but so that's the way it goes. 3:52 left to go in the third quarter. 10-8. Holliston down by 2.
So first down for Hopkinton at the Panther 41. 3:52 to go in the third quarter. Holliston looking to see if they can stop the Hiller momentum. Kelleher fires to his left, complete to Abbott. He breaks 1 tackle, but then takes a hit from Kelly, number 53. Alex Kelly, senior captain, leading tackler on the team with 30 tackles coming into this game. And Abbott is stopped for just a gain of 2.
And that's that cross play. We saw he comes across. He likes, as you said, Tom, he likes to come across, get the ball short, and take off with it. But Alex Kelly was right there, and he was having none of that. This is a big second down for Holliston. They can put some pressure on Kelleher here.
And they pitch it to Hebert. Tries to make it to the corner.
There you go.
And the Panthers shut off that one. Number 1, Cam Lamont came up to make the hit. Little help from Benko. And no gain on the play, so third down and 8 for Hopkinton.
And now they got to come up with 2 more of those stops like they had down on the goal line and get this ball back. You would think if there's any kind of gain here at all on third down that Hopkinton would probably go for it on 4th.
Actually, they give him a 1-yard gain. It'll be third down and 7. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Kelleher looking downfield, big throw. Incomplete.
Yeah,
as he overthrew Iannelli.
Yeah, they were asking for the flag down, but you're not going to get a flag on a play like that. 2:25, so right now, here it is. This is a big decision for Hopkinton. Holliston just scored. They're coming. They're getting to, Hopkinton may punt here.
Well, the rule book says 4th and long, play the field position game with the lead, Jay, but high school football, you really got to be rolling the dice if you want to win.
Yep.
And it looks like Hopkinton's going to roll the dice, although I'm sure Kelleher could probably punt, if they just want to go through the motions like the Panthers did.
Yeah, because even a short punt here would be worth it for him. Let's see how far back. Sometimes the indication is how far back he stands to see if he's going to punt or not.
Well, it looks like he's ready to pass here on 4th down and 7. Kelleher downfield, got some room, up he comes. Sneaks out of bounds before Kelly can get him.
See, that's why I say, Tom, you've got to attack him up the middle. You really do. You have to attack him up the middle and don't give him the opportunity to look over the field. If he has the time to look over the field, he can make that kind of a decision to see where he's going. If he doesn't have the opportunity to look over the field, he's just going to tuck and run, and then you can get him.
So Kelleher on the scramble, picks up enough for the first down, and it's 1st and 10 for the Hillers at the 25-yard line of Holliston. 2:17 to go in the third quarter. Hillers leading by 2, 10-8.
And now that field's starting to get a little bit smaller, a little less field to cover for Holliston.
They send Abbott to the left, stacked triple receivers. One receiver to Kelleher's right. Here come the Panthers. Kelleher rolls left away from the pressure, steps up, finds some green. Finally brought down by Crowley, but Kelleher now looking for that back cut away from the rollout for some open room.
Yeah, and Holliston did a nice job there of containing him. That's exactly what you want to do, is contain him to go to bring him to the inside. Again, I don't know if they have a spy spying him now and just playing him man on man basically or not, but you've got to. He's doing a nice job of seeing where the opening is and cutting to it. And it almost looks like he's pulling the ball down a lot more quickly than he normally would, and he's looking to run.
Well,
so that could be a plus for you,
Kelleher
too.
is rolling to the strong side. Panthers are blitzing off the weak side and just not quite getting there. So 2nd down and 1. Timeout on the field.
Hopkinton.
Hopkinton's going to take it here with 1:26 to go in the third quarter. Now, Hopkinton has not had a penalty this game, I don't believe.
Oh, they had one. Yep, one for 15 yards. Thank you, Los.
So 2nd down and 1. Kelleher looks right, tries to step up, hit from behind. Not sure. Let's see where they mark it.
Well, he was looking to pass, so it had to be a loss, and it is a loss of about a yard.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 1. Clock will keep rolling. Hit by Canal, number 55.
See, and
Holliston's coming close to some big plays on the defense, especially getting Kelleher. But
and that's a sack there, and you know that sack right there is a coverage sack because the defensive backs didn't allow a receiver to get open.
Now Kelleher is looking for some place to run, and he's been having some success. Clock running with 41 seconds to go here in the third quarter. 3rd down and 1. Abbott in motion. Kelleher rolls away to the left. Tapped ball. Nice job there. That was 54. Soloria got a hand on it.
Well, let me tell you something. Will Soloria just made one of the big plays in Holliston for Holliston this year. And now you get a 4th down. And you know what happened last time?
Was that Donta Hightower?
Yeah. Last time they had a 4th down, they kind of considered. I had talked a little bit about that 2nd down. You have a free play. The 3rd down, I'm really surprised that he didn't run the ball. I'm surprised they tried to throw it. Well, and they probably think, okay, we have a 4th down. We can make it now. But sometimes you don't make that 4th and short.
Holliston was able to hold them on 1st and goal from the 2-yard line. Now they've got a 4th and 1 on the 16.
This could be Abbott on a pitch, too.
Here they bring Abbott in motion. Blitz by the Panthers. Quick throw. Incomplete.
Oh, what
a big hit by Ryan Benko.
What a great blitz call that was. What a tremendous call by Coach Athey. And coming off the corner right there, and Ryan Benko.
Quarterback on quarterback crime there.
That
what a hit by number 4.
He had it all done there. That was a tremendous play by Ryan Benko. And whoever had the tight end covered, that was a nice job by them, too, because they knocked the ball out of the tight end's hands.
So incompletion on 4th down and 1.
And
so
you really
a 2nd down
wonder,
and 1 turns into the Panthers holding, and they've got the ball.
And you really got to wonder if, you start thinking about, well, should we have done this? Should we get a little self-confidence issue maybe?
So Panthers start on their own 16 with 19 seconds to go in the first half. Handoff to Ibbotson. Tackled for no gain.
This is where, they're going to be Hopkinton now because they got beat long. And once that's the end of the third quarter.
And it's the end of the third quarter. It's time for This Week in the
Tri-Valley League.
Brought to you by HABA, Holliston Athletic Boosters Association. Raising money to support all Panther varsity sports. Get your Holliston Panthers spirit wear at the concession stand every home game to support Panther Nation today. And it's week 7 of the season already, Jay. The last day of the regular season before the playoffs. And Westwood is hosting Norton, 2-4. Westwood 1-5 on the year. They've had a tough break with injuries. Medfield 5-1 is hosting Walpole in a non-league game. Walpole leading 24-14 at the half. Millis 5-1 hosting the Ashland Clockers. Medway 2-4 hosting the newbies. The Dedham Marauders are at 3-3, and Dover Sherburne 3-3 hosting Bellingham 2-4. Well, we just got a great night here at the top of the Tri-Valley League, 410 feet above sea level, and we've got the two top teams going toe-to-toe. Panthers trailing the Hillers by 2, 10-8.
Well, what I was going to say, Tom, at the end of the quarter there was you beat them with a vertical pass, so now you're going to have that. That's going to start loosening up these defensive backs a little bit and give Holliston a little more room for passing, especially passes across the middle.
So second down and 11 for the Panthers from the 15. Benko rolls right, looks downfield. He's got Armstrong with just a step, just overthrew him. That's going to bring up a third down and long for Holliston. Well, Holliston loved to hit one of those home run balls, but right now they need a first down to move the chains.
Yeah, going out there, you got to try. You got to loosen up that defense. You have to try one of those. But now you got a really tough third down because the last thing you want to do is bring your defense out here again and give Hopkins any kind of a short field.
Well, I love getting Benko out on the outside there, like Kelleher's been torturing the Panther defense. Let Benko get to the outside and do some damage with his legs if there's no pass there.
It's one-on-one coverage here outside.
Benko scrambles out of the pocket. Throws it away to avoid the sack intended for Armstrong, but that's going to bring up fourth down.
Now, they had over here, Armstrong had a one-on-one situation, and, there's a few things you can do there. All the other receivers were double-teamed on the other side of the ball, so if they could have maybe sent him deep and had him come back and catch the ball at the line marker, that might have worked. But you got to look for wherever they have the one-on-one coverage.
Will Abbott, number 2, drops back to receive the punt. Benko's kick, the line drive is going to bounce at the 45, and it goes driving into Hiller territory, and it comes to a rest at the Hopkinton 25. So a great punt by Ryan Benko from the 15 to the 25 with 10:33 in the fourth quarter as we just are underway here in the final frame.
Yeah, now you're coming back and you're saying to this defense who's just really played so well tonight, and I kind of don't like the term bend but not break, but I guess that's kind of what people know, so the term, so we'll use it. But the fact of the matter is they've really answered the call every time they've had to, and right now they're looking for it again. What would really help here, obviously, if we can hold them here and get some field position, use a couple big plays by the defense down here right now.
Kelleher looks left, pump fakes, goes deep. Incomplete, overthrown. And that brings up second down and 10.
And every time he does that, that really helps Holliston because two reasons. Number one, they're not doing that run left and run right thing where they were making a lot of yardage. Number two, it stops the clock. Not really an issue quite yet, but, Holliston may need to take some time off the clock in a drive to get down here and score. So every time they do that and they don't complete a pass, it's a plus for the Holliston Panthers.
Triple receivers to Kelleher's left, the wide side of the field here on 2nd and 10. Kelleher on the slant play to number 3. And he's got enough for the first down as Lindquist fights his way to the 35-yard line.
Simple button hook, come across the line, button hook, catch the ball, and turn and make some yardage. And receiver did a nice job with that.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Clock running with 10:06 to go here in the 4th quarter. 10-8 Hopkinton. Abbott split in twin receivers out to the right. Now they start to bring him towards the formation. They pitch to Hebert. Hebert tries to find the corner. He's pushed out of bounds after a short gain. Nice job by the Panthers stringing out that play.
Exactly, Tom. That's what you want to do, string it all the way out there. Now, the only thing you want to watch out now for is a reversal where they come back in this direction. And they've done that once or twice tonight, and it's actually been Kelleher who's done it. They sent the player wide, and then he's come across over here.
So a long run for Hebert, and that was actually a loss of 1 on the play. So good job by the Panther defense. 2nd down and 11.
You might want to send somebody here on a blitz.
Abbott in the slot to the left. Empty backfield for Kelleher. He looks right. Downfield, lets one go. And he had Lindquist open, but overthrew him. That'll bring up 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, and this is a tough call for Hopkinton right here. They need to get this first down. If they don't get a first down, they're in a position where they are going to really have to punt, unless it's 4th and incredibly short. They're going to have to punt and give Holliston the ball back. Now, on the Holliston side of the ball, if they can stop him with the ball down here or further back, that's going to give Holliston pretty decent field position. 9:40 left to go in this ball game. 10-8. Holliston only down by 2. And this defense has been tested and tested and tested, and they've come up and done a great job so far tonight.
Well, the Red Sea calling for defense right here by the Panthers. See if they can make a big play on 3rd down and 11. Kelleher, empty backfield, drops back, down the field. Diving play, incomplete, as he overthrew his intended receiver, number 8, Ionelli.
And what happened there, Tom, was he wanted another split second, and Holliston didn't get it because Holliston came up the middle on a blitz and put a little pressure on him. He threw that ball a little earlier than he wanted to throw it. If he could have stepped 2 steps, he could have waited another split second. That could have been a completion, could have been big problems for Holliston. But that Holliston putting the pressure on that defensive line did a nice job. And a bad punt, a really bad punt.
And it takes a Holliston bounce and finally wrestled down at the Hiller 45. So the Panthers are going to be on the short side of the field with 9 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the 4th quarter, trailing Hopkinton by 2. An 11-yard net kick. Thank you, Luce. Like having our onboard statistician here.
He's such a big help. All right, 9:23 left to go.
So it's all downhill from here, Jay, right?
Well,
they're on this side of the 50-yard line, right?
Here's the deal, Tom.
There is a big crown in the middle of the field. Maybe the Panthers could get some downhill momentum
on either side.
Right.
Here's the thing now. This is the time of the game when this is what you play. As Bill Parcells says, this is why you lift all those weights. This is the time of the game where you can take control here. It looks like they're going to go to war, and I think this is a really good place to go to war because they're going to let their offensive line control this game from here on in.
And the handoff is to Benson. Tries to make the corner, takes a hit, picks up 2 before he's pushed out of bounds. So 2nd down and 8 for the Panthers.
And I like that. You want to use your speed backs here. You want to get your speed to the outside.
Coach Kiley swapping his backs. Now he's got Nash and Seymour in the game.
Clock is stopped now with 9:18 left to go as Benson got out of bounds.
Nash
10
on the
seconds.
right wing. Seymour on the left. They pitch it to Seymour, hand it to Nash on the reverse. He fights his way just short of the 40-yard line, picks up another 2 yards. Let's see where they mark it. Going to put him at the 41-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 5.
And now Benko comes in, and barring disaster here, this is going to be 4-down territory, I think, for Holliston. And one of the reasons it can be is because even though you could give Hopkins a good field position, that defense has responded whenever they've been put in a situation of a poor field position for Holliston.
3 receivers to Benko's right. Benko on the draw play. Got some open room, has a 1st down. He's across the 30, inside the 30-yard line. Holliston with a 1st down and rolling.
And all of a sudden, something's creeping into the back of these minds of these Hopkinton kids, and it's kind of like, oh no, not again. And Holliston is starting to control the ball. That was a really good call. I don't know if that was supposed to be a designed run, but if it wasn't, Ryan Benko made a really nice decision there by running that ball. 8:20 and the clock going. Left in this ball game, 10-8. Holliston with the ball.
So 1st down at the Hiller 26-yard line, and this crowd is energized. 3 receivers to the right, Armstrong, Quinn, and Seymour. Ibbotson hops to his left. Benko looks downfield on the slant play.
Oh.
Just couldn't connect.
You know, Tom, that ball was thrown
Quinn.
low. That was thrown low, but it might have been a good thing it was, because if that was up a little bit higher, I think Abbott might have had a shot at that. So, in the Hopkinton defensive backfield. So, that really didn't hurt that much. Some nice blocking, too, by the way, by that offensive line.
2nd down and 10. Holliston starting to find some momentum. The defense has been giving it to them. We'll see if the offense can find the end zone here from 26 yards out.
7:54 left to go in the game.
3 receivers to Benko's right. Nash split to the left. Ibbotson steps up to the right.
Yeah.
And we got a
motion on Holliston. Illegal procedure.
So that'll make it 2nd down and 15.
Again, Tom, this is 4-down territory, definitely down here now. So you don't need to get it all here on the 2nd and 3rd down. You can get 4 or 5 yards for each play here, or 5 or 6 yards, whatever. You don't need to get all 15.
Well, Panthers are starting to find some green,
Yeah.
some open running area.
And there's also some open passing area down here, as that defensive backfield's kind of split out for a little bit.
Benko rolls out right, fires.
Yeah, well,
Overthrown, incomplete.
Yeah, Ryan, he kind of wish he had that one back. He saw it. He was absolutely right. He threw the ball to the right guy and everything, just a little bit high. Clock stopped at 7:49 left to go in the game.
So 3rd down and 15. Hopkinton made a little mistake there, leaving Kevin Quinn so far open on that pass play.
And that's what I'm saying. This defensive backfield is splitting, and there are holes in there now that Ryan's able to see. Ryan Benko. Get the ball.
And Benko able to get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's going to bring up 4th down. So a busted play by the Panthers.
Yeah, see, now we had the penalty in the busted play right in the middle of this drive, and that really hurts.
Clock running with 7:25 to go.
Still, there's plenty of time here because you have your 5 timeouts, so that's not an issue. You just want to make sure you make the right play here.
Well, This is the time of the game when you get in the fourth quarter, got to make big plays. These guys, plenty of them on the list.
But you see the middle of that field, Tom? That is wide open for a post pattern right now.
Benko away from the pressure, fires, middle of the field, and knocked away, contact in the middle of the field.
And there was your post pattern right there.
Intended for Armstrong, and that contested pass there knocked incomplete. So it'll be first down for the Hillers going the other way from their own 33-yard line. Holliston almost converted there.
Yeah, what you have to do now is, Tom, you're in a situation where you don't want to put yourself in a two-possession game. So you're going to have to prevent any touchdown, and if they get a touchdown, you must prevent the extra point.
Panther crowd calling for the defense. Hebert on the run. Sprints away from a couple of tacklers. Gets out of bounds, stops the clock, but I think he's just short of a first down. So second down and 2 for the Hillers.
You know, you mentioned, Tom.
Clock stop with 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
They really, over the course of the season, have not been that much of a running team. But Hebert, boy, he's a good little runner. I'd get the ball in his hands. He's had that one play for a loss, but every other play he's done a nice job.
Two receivers to both sides. Kelleher hands it off to Hebert.
Almost fumbled.
Panthers tackle him under for a big loss. A loss of 2.
Right, and Hebert just recovered that ball just in time because he was kind of bobbling it in his hands. It wasn't a good handoff. And if Holliston could have gotten there a step sooner and pulled his arm, that would have been a live ball.
So it's going to be third down and 3 on the loss.
How many big plays is this defense going to make? How many times can they keep answering and answering? So far, they've done a good job at it. Let's see if they can do it one more time here on third down.
Hebert behind Kelleher. And Kelleher rolls right, looks downfield. Caught it. Snuck through and got caught by Abbott. It looked like the Panther defender had knocked it down.
I thought he almost had intercepted it.
What a play there. Abbott able to come up with a catch through, looked like good defense by the Panthers, but that's going to give a first down to Hopkinton at the Panther 45. Clock stopped with 5 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the game. Probably going to be a handoff to Hebert here. Kelleher hands it off, keeps it himself. Nice fake.
Too many yards, though, Tom. You can't let them keep getting 4 or 5 yards here because what they're doing is they're getting yardage, but they're also eating up time here. With 5 now, you're going to be under 5:20 when this ball is snapped.
2nd and 6 for the Hillers. And they're definitely taking their time as we're down to 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Clock running. Kelleher drops back, looks downfield, fires deep. Incomplete.
Well, that helps the cause. It stops the clock and no yardage gained.
Nice defense by the Panthers. Good job by number 11, Henry Naughton, avoiding contact when that ball was overthrown. So stops the clock on third down and 6. 4:54 to go here in the fourth quarter. Kelleher looks down at his play sheet and calls out the play.
I would suspect at this point he's going to run it left or right and throw off the rollout.
Abbott's to the right. That's where Kelleher rolls. Panthers come up. He slips away. And he's tackled out of bounds for a short gain. Oh, they're going to say he's inbounds. So the clock's going to roll. So a bit of a break or a good decision by Kelleher to get down, but no gain on the play.
And now we're going to see. Let's see what happens. It looks like they're back to punt. Kind of make sure that up back doesn't get the ball.
Mike Nash drops deep for Holliston. Low snap. Here comes the rush. Big kick.
Oh.
Nash covers it, but inside the 5-yard line. So Holliston's 95 yards from the end zone with 4 minutes and 4 seconds to go in this ball game. Hillers leading the Panthers 10-8.
Well, they got two things in their favor, Tom. They got the ball and they got the clock. And right now, with 5 timeouts, there's plenty of time. The time is not an issue. What you can't do is start going into, 4 or 5, 3 or 4 downs every time. You're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to pop a big one here and get some better field position.
Well, they've got some big play capability. We've already seen it with the Benko to Nash connection. Brad Seymour with a long touchdown run. Jake Armstrong with a long touchdown catch. Dylan Ibbotson with a 55-yard touchdown against Westwood earlier this season.
And once again, over here, you have man-to-man coverage here over on this side with Seymour. He's where I would look right now.
Benko rolls left. Looks downfield towards the middle. And Quinn, covered by Abbott, is incomplete.
Tom, with this setup here again, watch it. They'll do the same thing, and they bring that safety, bring him down. They'll bring him down. There'll be man-to-man coverage over here. This is where you can do a crossing pattern. You can cut across the field short and open it up. Looks like there's going to be a. Oh, they're going. I thought there was going to be a timeout.
So 2nd down and 10. Benko rolls left again. And he's hit right near the goal line, and it's a safety. So Hopkinton comes up with the big play with 3:52 to go, and Holliston's going to be forced to punt, now trailing by 4.
Well, here's the deal. The situation is Hopkinton gets the ball back. If they don't score a touchdown, you can still score a touchdown and win this game. But right now it's going to be up to the defense, and they're going to have to start calling some timeouts and using their timeout with the defense here. They'll be punting the ball from, I believe, the 20, or
yeah, they got a kick from the 20.
It's funny, they're walking the ball up to the 30. You have a little onside deal you could do here, some little pooch punt.
Well, your defense has to hold them, so I guess it doesn't really make any difference where you try an onside kick from.
Okay, now they're moving them back. Okay, that's what. See, I thought they would have to kick it from the 20. That's where they're moving them back to. He gets a free kick, but he looks like he's not going to punt it.
Mulvaney's got it teed up on the 20. Mulvaney's kick is straight away and strong, falls at the 35-yard line. Abbott works it up the sideline, cross midfield to the 42.
3:44 left to go in this ball game, 12-8. Holliston down by 4.
So it really kind of depends how conservative Hopkinton goes right now.
Well, Hopkinton, the one reason Hopkinton is going to go conservative is not necessarily for the clock itself, but to make Holliston use their timeouts. That's what you want to do. You don't want to leave Holliston with the ball in three or four timeouts. So they'll run the ball. Holliston will call timeout, and they'll do it again and again, and then you get in a situation where if they make a first down, you know, the game's over if they make a couple of first downs here. So Holliston, the defense, got to answer again. I wouldn't look for a pass here at all.
Kelleher pitches to Hebert. Hebert tackled for a loss. So Holliston takes a timeout, stops the clock with 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
12-8, Holliston down by 4. You can come. You can send everybody after him now if you want.
Kelleher drops back to pass, looks down the field,
wow.
unloads,
wow.
and way overthrown and incomplete. But
and thank you for that one.
Stops the clock. 3:25.
I am absolutely shocked. I can't believe that they would have done that. But you know what? I'm glad they did.
So 3rd down and 13.
So now, and after what happened on the last set of downs, if they don't make a first down here, if it's not short, they will definitely punt because they like getting Holliston down there deep. They don't want to give them any shot of having the ball around the midfield mark.
Big play by the Panther defense. Kelleher rolls. Here comes the pressure. Falls off of one guy. And incomplete. Brings up 4th down and only took 6 seconds off the clock.
Another clock stoppage. I just don't get it. I really don't understand this. And, you know, they'll punt to Holliston now, but now Holliston has 4 timeouts left. They should have, at the end of this punt, Holliston should have only had 2 timeouts, and they have 4. Well, I think 4, right? They didn't have any other timeouts. That
right.
I recall,
no, they did not use in the second half. And a punt sort of off the side of the...
Oh, it takes another Holliston bounce.
And the Panthers are going to be at the 22-yard line. So they'll be 78 yards from the goal line with 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Well, I got the referee waving his arms. He's headed over to talk to Coach Garrard. Maybe just trying to get his team back on the sideline. No, the referee's pointing up at the box. Looks like the scorer.
So this whole thing, Tom, I believe when Holliston got the ball the last time, wasn't there like 4:04 left or something? Yeah, they've added 10 seconds onto the clock. So there's now 3:14. I don't even think a minute went off the clock from the time Holliston had the ball before till now, and they still had their 4 timeouts.
So the Panthers 1st and 10. Quinn comes in motion. Benko rolls right. Here comes the Hillers rush. There's the throw. Complete! And Kevin Quinn fights his way out of bounds after a nice catch.
That is a big play by Kevin Quinn to get out of bounds and save those timeouts. Big play.
So 2nd down and 4. Coach Kiley signals in the play to his offense. Nash and Seymour head to the far side of the field with Quinn. Jake Armstrong split to the right. Benko straight back. Spins away from the rush. Finds some room. And he picks up a couple of yards, but Holliston's going to have to take a timeout with 2 minutes and 51 seconds to go. And it's going to bring 3rd down and 3.
they're just not giving him time, and, you know, he's got to get that time. And now you got 4th down, and this is the ball game right here.
So the clock stops with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. But the Panthers got to go deep because it's 4th down and 15. Well, they just got to make sure they don't give the Panthers too much of a seam right here,
Right.
Jay. Even giving up a 1st down is not the end of the ball game for the Hillers.
Right,
And they've got
Abbott playing center field down here.
Yep.
Deep, very deep.
And Benko takes off. And a nice gain, but it's going to be short of the 1st down. And that will turn over the ball on downs to the Hillers with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And Hopkinton, even if they take a knee here, Holliston's just got 2 timeouts left. Do they have 2?
Wait a minute now. What? Yeah, okay, Holliston. Okay. I thought they put up the 1st down mark. They put it up for Hopkinton.
Well, a hard-fought game on both sides of it, Jay. Here you had the Hopkinton Hillers coming in with high-powered offense, aerial attack. The Panthers able to pretty much snuff that. I mean, even Abbott in the end zone one time, but it was on a running play.
Yep.
So both teams only giving up 1 touchdown in this game. Kelleher and Hebert, a little mix-up in the backfield. Hebert carries it back to the line of scrimmage. Holliston will burn a timeout. But the Holliston faithful haven't lost hope quite yet.
Watch Abbott come over on the sweep. Here he comes. He's got the ball.
Hand it off. He bounces away from one. Gets to the sideline. And he doesn't go out of bounds, but he picks up a 1st down. And Holliston will burn its last time out.
Well, it's actually, did he get the 1st? No, he didn't get the 1st.
So 3rd down and 1. We say defense wins championships, and the Panther defense has looked pretty
Very
sharp
good.
tonight.
Yeah, they've looked very
Jay.
good. Yep.
So Kelleher under center, probably going to try a sneak. No, they hand
What
off.
do they do? What are they doing?
Hand
Flag. There's a flag. Now let's see. Let's stop the clock. Let's see if there's a hold.
And Abbott was tackled for a loss on the play. Took a heavy hit. He's coming to the sidelines.
Let's see what this is. Is the hold a block in the back or something? Where the flag came in. Oh, chop block. Chop block. So this is going to be a penalty against Hopkinton.
So let's see the referee's signal. And
Stops.
it is exactly that.
Stops the clock, saves the timeout.
So Holliston is going to.
I'm sure they're going to accept this, right? Because they're not going to leave the ball there on 4th down and let them have a shot at getting a 1st down. So they'll accept this penalty.
I think they declined it to get 4th down.
Well, let's see
Fourth
where the
down
ball
and 1.
was. Wow, they're going to.
So there was a loss of.
Oh, there was
3
okay. There
on
was
the
a loss.
play.
All right, because where the down marker was, it looked like it was once. Okay.
So it's going to be 4th down and 3.
But they saved the timeout
But they
because
get
of the penalty.
Right. Oh, now they're going to wind the clock with 2 minutes.
Well, why are they winding the clock after a penalty?
Well, because it got declined,
Oh, right, maybe.
not enforced.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's right. I keep thinking they took the penalty.
So let's see what happens now. Now there's 10 seconds to go. And
Timeout.
Hopkinton's going to take a timeout with 1:41 and a 4th down and 3. Well, Hopkinton is Let's see what formation they line up in.
This
they
could
don't
be that,
have Hebert in to run.
No,
so
this is that
Kelleher
sweep.
is going to roll out.
This is going to be that sweep to Abbott, probably coming across the field again. Here he comes. Let's see. Oh, no.
Kelleher rolls right, looks, fires, incomplete. And so with 1:37, the Panthers have life from their own 20-yard line, 80 yards from pay dirt. Let's see if they got something up their sleeve. They just got to get somebody in the open, Jay.
Well, like Carlos just said, interesting. That's all I'm going to say. That was an interesting.
Well, Jay, if you ran the ball, you were only going to get 6 yards, 6 seconds off the clock anyway.
Unless you get a first down.
But that's
every
Hopkinton is a passing team.
Yeah,
they went for it.
I guess. I'll take it. No matter what, I'll take it. But now Hollison's got to get the ball downfield.
So now they put 3 receivers to Benko's right.
See how they come up on press coverage now on Seymour.
On Armstrong.
Armstrong, I mean.
Benko rolls right. Heavy rush. Fires. Tipped up.
Caught.
And caught. For a first down.
Not out of bounds, though. He's not out of bounds. You got to hurry. You got to maybe spike this ball.
Armstrong with the catch.
You may want to spike this ball.
The clock is stopped while they're moving the markers.
Right. Oh, you don't have to spike it. That's right. There we go.
Starts again with 1:22. Benko looks downfield. Got pressure. Kind of in the grass. The ball comes free. And it's Hopkinton ball inside the 20-yard line. So Coach Kiley's trying to argue that his quarterback was down by contact.
Well, I think what he's saying, Tom, is that when the player recovered the ball, his foot was out of bounds. And it just...
And so it's going to be Hopkinton ball with 1:10.
Yeah, and they'll just take a knee. They'll get in the victory thing here and formation here and just take a knee. Well, I don't know why you need to take a timeout now unless you want to throw another pass. But, well, you had your chances tonight. That's for sure.
I tell you, it was a back-and-forth battle. Both teams, this last couple of minutes have just lasted a long time. Panthers gave Hopkinton all they could handle tonight. This was not an easy one for the Hillers, as you see between these top teams in the Tri-Valley League. So disappointing for the Panthers. They'll drop to 3-3. Now they are still are alive for the playoff spot.
Well, they'll
That's
be
the top 8 teams in Division 5 South will make the playoffs. But probably looking at a road game.
Yeah, but they were guaranteed the playoffs, right? Because the 3 teams that weren't going to make it in the division all had losing records. So,
but there's a chance. There's a chance that the Panthers finish at the 4 or 5 seed spot. Medfield was losing tonight, but Hopkinton's going to go to 7-0, undefeated in the Tri-Valley League. They'll win the Tri-Valley League crown for the first time since I've got that thing here. I'm looking at. I think they were Tri-Valley League champs in 2005, I think, is the last time that Hopkinton wore the crown. Well, well-deserved this year by the Hillers, going undefeated.
Clock running down, waiting to get the 10-second, and this will be the last play.
Down to 35 seconds. Kelleher takes another knee. And that'll do it. And the Hopkinton Hillers are Tri-Valley League champions 2017. The Panthers drop to 3-3 as Hopkinton, a hard-fought 12-8 victory here at Dave Hughes Stadium. Disappointing for the Panthers, but they head right from the frying pan into the fire as it's the playoffs in Division 5 South, which is a tough division. Dennis Yarmouth at the top of that division. Somerset Berkeley, a surprise team up in the top of that division, as well as Medfield, Scituate, Foxborough, Falmouth, and Hanover still hanging around. They finished their season last week at 3-3. Have a bye with this week.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to be straightened out, so we'll see what happens.
And now Los with the final lowdown.
Thanks, Tom. The final score from David M. Hughes Stadium here in Hopkinton. The Hillers come away with the very narrow victory, 12-8 over Holliston. Not the best night on the stat sheet for the Panthers tonight. 134 total yards for the Panthers. That's 103 yards passing, 31 yards rushing, 249 yards of total offense for Hopkinton. It's 148 yards passing, 101 yards rushing. Turnovers plaguing the Panthers tonight. One interception, one lost fumble to kind of contribute to the loss. And then a little bit of an issue with penalties. They were penalized 4 times for 30 yards. Need to get a little bit better on third downs as well. Only 4 for 13 on third down conversions tonight. For the Panthers, quarterback Ryan Benko had 68 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The leading rusher for the Panthers was also Ryan Benko. He had 25 yards on 14 carries. The leading receivers for the Panthers were Jake Armstrong with 52 yards and Michael Nash with 45 yards. That was a 45-yard touchdown for Michael Nash. For the Hopkinton Hillers, quarterback Ryan Kelleher, 14 of 32 for 148 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He was also the leading rusher for the Hillers. He had 56 yards on 17 carries. Will Abbott with 37 yards and a touchdown. And then the leading receiver for the Hillers was Matt Lindquist. He had 44 yards on 4 catches. Defensively for the Panthers, Ryan Benko had a pretty good night on defense. He had led all tacklers with 8 recorded tackles. Dwayne Fahey with 5, and Henry Naughton checking in with 3 tackles. Some big pass breakups, primarily from Brad Seymour. He had 3 big pass breakups in this game. Cam Lamont with 2 big pass breakups. Then Michael Nash, Henry Naughton, and Ryan Benko with breakups as well. For more stats and information on the Holliston Panthers, you can follow us on Twitter at HCatFootball, and that's the lowdown.
Thank you, Los. Well, the Panthers lost on the scoreboard. They did cover the Greeks' 14-point spread. Holliston played well. Disappointing end, Jay, but just giving up 1 touchdown and scoring a touchdown. Hopkinton's tough.
Yeah, we wish them nothing but the best. I hope they go and they win their division, and Holliston does too, down to the Super Bowl. We'll be down there together. I want to thank a lot of people tonight. We want to thank Christian Boudet down on the field. We want to thank Steve Hedrick down on the field. Bruce Guilfoyle set everything up. Of course, the lovely Lisa up here on the big camera. Carlos, good job up there. Tom, nice job. We'll see you in the playoffs. Final score from Hopkinton 12, Holliston 8. Good night.
Good night, everybody.